When I first saw Rosa and Giuseppe, it was from a distance, the entrance to the library building of Milton Hall. They were coming up the grass. Frankly, I was afraid of them because I thought they looked Israeli. I was 31 years old at the time. She was 19. He was a little older than her. She didn't plug into my imagination at first, but I noticed that she was reading. She returned the existential book, The Stranger. I noticed that she was coming in more often than most students do. And she seemed a little bit alienated, as though she was having trouble finding anyone to take seriously. I didn't have to think very much about courtship with her because when I came across her in the stock, she immediately lifted her head and looked at me very directly, as if to say, "Ah, it's him." And she was responsive to my attention. So at first, I thought maybe I can bring myself to ask this woman out. And gradually, a courtship evolved. As a way of introduction to myself, I did tell her that I had been used in a very unusual war game and I was looking for some answers. At the time, I didn't know that buried in my cellar were those letters containing information. It started to occur to me after we broke up, after she left me. You could construct a defense of her. It would be sort of along the lines of the women who attended the RAF who looked down on the men who couldn't endure their injuries. As the neuroplasm percolated and she became more and more aggressive towards me in the surreal erotic sense that she was evidently groomed for and set upon me with, as she sought to detonate the neuroplasm that they could have implanted, and she was focusing more and more on the insane confusion that it induced. She began to behave in two-timing ways and indicating that she wanted to leave me, which began to cause me tremendous suffering physically. And when they detonated it, she joined the parochial house circus of catcalling that I was a jealous possessive. And I went and lapsed into seizures, screaming on the streets of Iowa, remembering being tortured and kidnapped as a child, while they rained spitballs and jeering on me. Perhaps I wasn't too far from the truth. She was Israeli. I believe she hailed from the Tree of Life crowd, who knew all about the letters of Gail Burstyn. There's even an Israeli movie called I Love Rosa. And I did. She would bring me coffee in the morning. It was the tenderest moment between us, despite the circus of sneers about our making love. Those were the tenderest moments when she came in the morning and brought me a cup of coffee. Those are the moments I cherish and have never been able to forget. A library clerk half employed, part time, member of a union, and a beautiful, gifted foreign sweetheart holding hands and across the clerk's desk, offending no one for a few minutes in the morning. It was tender. I believe even her brother approved. I loved Rosa. I think probably the enemy FBI made its most terrible mistake in betraying King Crimson's name in their conduct towards me. For I am determined that my name be released from the prisoner relationship of these murderers. King Crimson are criminally insane. They very purposefully set upon me as a child, prepubescent, with intent to do irreparable harm, and then constructed an imaginary world of drama where I was happy so that they could backblade me with the gravest and most insidious foreign spite.